better hope Oakton weighs as much as we said we thought he weighs, or we're going to be in trouble.
I'm sure Coach Wooten's working on him to get up there. They can definitely use that size. Looks like Coach Thomas, the defensive coordinator, had his team prepared to come out and play here. First game of the season, it's always interesting to come out and not as much of a game plan maybe implemented. You worry more about yourself, and it looks like the coaching staff here from Mountain Crest did a great job of having their team prepared, worried about executing their game plan instead of worrying too much about Mountain View.
2:26 to play in the first half, so Mountain Crest takes a timeout, and they want to put another one on the board. All the games count, but the games that really count are the region games, and Region 5 looks to be a tough one this year. Of course, you've got the defending champs, Logan, up the road, and they return a lot of players. Skyview feels like they're going to be a better team this year, and you know they're your top three teams. Box Elder feels like they're improved.
One team you never want to overlook is Bonneville. They always play hard and hit hard as well, so they're never a team you want to overlook and underestimate.
Pierpont has to go right down to the ground to get this one. Hall kind of boots it, picks it up at the 30. Across the 35 to the 40, and he's down to about the 42-yard line. And so the Mountain Crest Mustangs will be 58 yards away from a score that, boy, you hate to say it right before halftime, but the way this first half is going, one more score could put this one in the old refrigerator, as Hot Rod used to say.
Going old school, yeah. Mountain Crest really got to look for a strike here and demoralize this Mountain View team. If you can go up 4 scores and pitch a shutout in the first half, that's about all you can ask for. So let's see how aggressive Mountain Crest comes out here on this possession.
Webb has a man. That's Luke Smith. Smith breaks it back outside, and he's in the Bruin territory.
Jameson doing a good job of finding his receivers, and his receivers returning the favor, making Jameson look even better with those big, healthy chunks of yardage, able to find some holes in the defense, cutting across the field and turning a small pass into a long gain.
17 yards, and the Mustangs hurry it up. Across the middle, into traffic, a strike to Smith. Oh, yeah, you saw a mouthpiece come out of there on the end of that shot. Did you see that?
Whirling dervish on that one. Strong hands there by Smith, able to hold on to that ball in a crowd. Looks like the Mustangs are really trying to force the issue, get down, and impose their will on the Bruins so they can get into the end zone before the half runs out.
9-yard gain. And the clock runs with 1:25 to play. They look to the sideline. They changed the call from the sideline. There's no safety in the middle. Now they back him up. Underneath, they had Hall, but instead they go to number 3, Niederhauser. Niederhauser gets the first down at about 6 yards.
Good patience there by Webb, able to read his options and find the best open man. Niederhauser able to reel it in and just keep the chains moving. When you're rolling down here in the 2-minute drill, the number one goal you want to have is just make sure the chains are always moving on each play. Hopefully in the positive direction. You want to be going backwards.
Here comes Huerta. Huerta split wide to the right. Ferguson in the slot to this side. Pututau to this side, and Ferguson to the far side. Webb's going to keep it. He's thumped by Cruiser and a couple other Bruins after a pickup of 3.
If there's one thing the Webb family shown us here at Mountain Crest is they're fearless, and Jameson willing to take one on the chin there to get just a couple yards closer to the end zone.
He took one on the chin, on the shoulder, on the forehead, on the back.
They paid the price for that one, that's for sure.
Pretty much took one everywhere is what he did.
I think it'll be interesting to see what the Mustangs decide to do coming out of this timeout. The few times they've gotten this close, they found a huge opening over the middle. First to Moroni, where it was negated by that defensive holding, and then to Eddie twice, actually, over the middle there. He was able to cut back and find one hole running after a short pass, and then another one wide open as he caught the ball in the end zone for the next touchdown.
Mark Wooten, 9 years here at Mountain Crest. He's 65 and 29. He's coached as a head coach 21 years total. 138 and 85 overall, and this Mustang team has won no less than 6 games for 7 straight seasons. And boy, they had that stretch between 2005 and 2010 that They made it to at least the semifinals, the state title, or the state tournament 5 out of 6 seasons. They were in the finals twice and crowned champs in 05.
Yeah, Coach Wooten does a great job of instilling that winning attitude.
Webb unloads short of Pututau. He didn't get his feet set. That was all arm, and it was a out pattern, and that one died on the vine. 52 seconds to play, 3rd and 7.
You know, if there's one thing the Mountain Crest coaches really do emphasize with their players from day one, they're talking about their season goals, state championships and region championships. And every morning they show up starting in February at 6 in the morning. Each player knows exactly what he needs to do in order to be successful. And that's why they're able to come out and they're able to be as successful as they are.
Webb steps up, unloads, touchdown.
You can see again, they found that hole over the middle. They found a weakness, and they just keep picking away at it.
22 yards and the 4th touchdown pass of the game for Jamison Webb. This one to Pututau.
Moroni able to find his way open over the middle, once again exploiting that weakness they seem to have found between the safeties there for Mountain View, and able to bring home another 6 right here before the half runs out for Mountain Crest.
47 seconds to play in the half. PAT up and good. 26-0 Mountain Crest with a big lead. 47 seconds to play in the half.
How do you, Old Grist Mill? Old Grist Mill Bread Company, Ogden, Brigham, Logan.
26-0, the score, 46 seconds to play in the first half. A lot of questions surrounding this Mountain Crest team. They finished 2nd in the region last year. Of course, Logan ran away with the region. They're on a 14-game winning streak, which was how many games they won last year. And Mountain Crest 2nd in that region and looking to improve on that. But they were kind of wondering, okay, what do we have? Well, looks like they've got plenty, at least so far in this first half. 200 and, what did I say in the break there to you? 267 yards unofficially of offense here in this first half. Domingo looked like he might have put his knee down. And he gets up across the 22-yard line. They said he didn't, which is a good thing for Mountain View. They're down at the 10-yard line. And now if you're Mountain View and a running team, they just take a knee and get to the half, or what?
Here Domingo on the return coming in and trying to work his way up, and it looks like he did get his knee down. The officials might have missed one there.
Don't think that was a game changer.
Unfortunately, no. Hopefully the Bruins can put something together here and try and salvage some morale heading into the locker room.
Mountain View beat Westlake, beat Mountain Crest in the playoffs last year, and they nearly upset Timpview. Timpview getting beat by Alta right now as we speak. Is that to give the first man through? That's been Domingo all night. That's who it is again. Domingo's quietly putting himself together a really solid game, a gain of 2. He's 37 yards on 9 carries.
Almost single-handedly carrying the Bruins offense. He might have just about at least half of what they have gained so far.
Yep. 30 yards through the air for the Bruins. Domingo's got 37 yards rushing. He's by far their leading rusher. Here's the give back around inside to Magale, and Magale picks up a yard. And that's it. Mountain Crest leads at the half, 26-0 over the Mountain View Bruins.
S.C. Needham Jewelers is Northern Utah's largest volume diamond importer. My name is Gene Needham, and I travel personally to the World's Diamond Cutting Center, Antwerp, Belgium. There I hand select each diamond based on the most favorable combinations of cut, color, and clarity. This makes all of our diamonds unique and special and assures that our customers get the best selection and value. These advantages enable us to consistently beat 50 to 70% off sales or any so-called wholesale deals. Come see us, S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block at the sign of the clock.
Hi, I'm Eddie Montgomery.
And I'm Troy Gentry.
Music has always been a big part of our lives. I started in my family's band.
And I've been performing on stages since my first high school talent contest.
We come a long way from our roots in Kentucky, but it wasn't always easy. We got here through hard work and determination.
So don't let anybody tell you something's impossible. You can do anything as long as you set your mind to it. This message has been brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
This is your living room, and so is this. This is season 1, and 2, and 3. This is the big game, and the big moment. This is getting caught up. This is Xfinity TV. This is easy. This is simple. This is awesome. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
26-0 Mountain Crest leading Mountain View as we go to the half here in Hiram. A little bit of a smoky evening as the entire western United States is on fire this year. I'm joined here in the booth by Annie Nalder. She's our Wendy's Player of the Week. And Annie, tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you play? What do you do?
I play soccer for Mount Crest High School, and my coach is Dennis Giles. And in the past, I've also participated in basketball, track, and cheerleading, and I've lettered in track, cheer, and soccer. And I'm a 4.0 student at Mountain Crest, and so far I'm planning on going to Iowa Western and play soccer there.
So Iowa Western, is that something where you committed to them? They've been recruiting you, or you're just kind of looking there, or what?
I'm just kind of looking there right now.
What do you want to do besides play soccer in college?
I want to go into either business management or become marriage counselor.
That's good. Help out people keeping the family together, huh?
Yeah.
So soccer, and you said you've done a little bit of everything, listening to you there, but what about soccer? Tell me about it. What do you enjoy the most about it?
I just like how it's a team sport and that you can be creative out there. You don't have plays like in basketball, and you can just do whatever you want.
Are you a senior this year?
Yes.
Well, tell me about the soccer season. What are you looking forward to?
This year, I think we're going to do really well because we have about 6 good seniors on our team, and so far our preseason games have gone pretty well. We've lost a couple, but the past 3 that we've played, we've had shutouts, so
yeah,
I'm looking forward to this year.
And tell me again what position you play?
I play center mid.
Center mid?
Yep.
What does the center mid do? Now I know, but some people may not.
Basically,
they stand in the center, in the middle, and it needs 2 names to make sure you stay in the middle, right?
No.
Oh.
You get to run everywhere, all over the field.
You get to run a lot then.
Yes.
That's why soccer's so good for you, right?
Yeah, I love it.
What do you think? Now, come on. Soccer's gaining popularity. There's a lot of people that, soccer, come on, soccer.
Whatever.
Soccer's not football or basketball.
It is the best sport.
What do you tell people that say stuff like that?
You're just not strong enough to play it, I guess.
Did anybody ever say that to you?
Not really.
No? Soccer athletes are outstanding athletes. They've got to run all over the place and handle that ball with their feet and everything. And how long have you played soccer?
For a long time, since I was about 5, so about 13 years.
Wow. Well, tell me what it feels like to be a senior. Your senior year. This is it. Last hurrah.
I know. It's very scary, but I'm excited for it. It'll be fun.
All right. Well, Annie Nalder, thanks for joining us up here in the booth, letting us get to know you a little bit. And you're our Wendy's Player of the Week, senior soccer player from Mountain Crest. Best of luck to you the rest of this season and college and everywhere else.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, Wendy's, for having me be here.
Yeah, Wendy's likes to help out all of the Valley schools. They like to make sure we know what the athletes and the students and everything else are doing, and really support all of them. So thanks to all your locally owned and operated Wendy's of Cache Valley. Thanks again, Annie. Good luck this season. Congratulations being the Wendy's Player of the Week. 26-0 Mountain Crest leading Mountain View at the half here in Hiram. Now the kickoff to start the second half goes to the end zone. Mountain Crest starts at their own 20-yard line, leading 26-0. Eric Olson along with Brent Pickett, bringing you the opening game of this 120th high school football season in Utah. That's Ferguson with the 7-yard gain.
Able to show off some of that strength, getting out and hopefully trying to break through some of those arm tackles Mountain View was throwing at him.
I wonder how much we'll see the Mustangs putting the ball in the air in the second half.
Good opportunity for him to try and work out the offensive line coherence and continuity, try and get that running game figured out.
Ferguson again, this time 5 yards and a first down. In that first half, Mountain Crest 105 yards on the ground, 162 through the air for 267 total yards. Jameson Webb was 12 of 17, 162 yards, 4 touchdowns. And we talked about how he had jitters and this and that early. And I don't know, were we a little hard on him? Because boy, did he look good in that, end up looking good in that first half. Only 5 incompletions and 162 yards and 4 touchdowns. First and 10, a little inside give to Hall. Hall grabbed by that defensive end, and Sefa Teopa does not let go.
Eddie, never an easy takedown out there, even though he knew that they had him. He kept fighting for his life and trying to scramble forward. Good thing that somebody didn't come in there and give him a hard lick for trying to stay up too long.
Hall had 7 carries for 62 yards in the first half. Webb 7 for 28. Pututau 1 for 14. Ferguson 1 for 1. Pututau 4 catches, 47 yards and a score. Huerta 1 for 10. Hall 4 for 78 and 3 touchdowns. And Smith caught 2 for 26. And Mountain Crest going to the air. Pututau's open downfield, but Webb will keep it, and he picks up 8.
One thing that Mountain Crest has done a really good job of in the past is utilizing their running backs in the passing game. Getting Hall downfield and getting him chances to stretch the defense will open things up later against quality opponents for Pututau and Huerta.
36 yards on 8 carries now for Webb, and he doesn't have to be the running threat that Hall was, but if teams know that he can pick things up with his feet, it makes him that much harder to defend.
Well, and Webb is athletic enough. He can certainly pick up the yards where necessary and get the ball upfield.
Ferguson, good looking runner out to midfield. He's up to the 49-yard line, so just short of midfield, 8-yard gain. And Mountain Crest now 6 for 6 on 3rd down in this game.
Able to take that crucial down and make it into a huge boon for themselves. Hopefully Mountain Crest can show some discipline here as they have and be able to develop some really good habits that ought to lead them into a bigger showdown next week against Lone Peak.
Now that one will be a good one. 2 good ball games in town next week. Lone Peak, Mountain Crest, Logan and Cottonwood. Fake the pitch, inside give to Hall. Look out. Hall finally hauled down at the 31-yard line. A gain of 20.
And Webb doing an excellent job of selling that fake, getting the whole Mountain View defense headed to the right, and Eddie came around on the other side and made him pay with that big gain.
Clock runs with 9 minutes to play in the third period. Mountain Crest in control with a 26-point lead. Ferguson sheds a tackler down to the 35, so he picks up 6. Mountain Crest running the ball and picking it up in chunks.
Once again, doing a good job of attacking that front four from Mountain View. Looks like Mountain Crest is already wearing them out, as a few of them are bending over with their hands on their knees, hands on their hips, already sucking wind. Hopefully they can keep attacking and push this one right back into the end zone.
Plus they got a long bus ride home waiting for them. Mountain View down in Orem. Webb swings it out there to Hall. Hall close to the first down. He picked up 4. It's going to be 3rd and a yard.
Yeah, Webb doing a good job of developing a solid rapport here with his receivers. I think that pass was a lot more difficult than maybe first anticipated. Had to swing it up and over the defender and a blocker and right into the hands of Eddie so he could get out and get a solid gain.
Mountain Crest 6 for 6 on third down conversions. Let's see if I jinxed it. They've just been running a keeper in these situations. So they're going to give it to Ferguson. Ferguson back to the middle. Ferguson into the end zone. Touchdown, Mountain Crest. 22 yards.
Here on this run by Ferguson, he's able to kind of follow the roadmap set out by Eddie Hall, breaking through the first line of defenders and cutting back across the grain, as you see here. Mountain Crest offensive line, the unsung heroes so far this game, get a huge push and are able to open up that hole so that Ferguson has a giant void there in the middle of the Mountain View defense to cut back and trot into the end zone.
PAT is good. 33-0 Mountain Crest adds to their lead.
There's something about being a farmer. At the end of the day, you know you've really accomplished something, but I had to give it up. I've had 4 kidney transplants. So when the 4th kidney started working, I knew I needed more job skills. So I went to Deseret Industries. Deseret Industries helped me so that I could work again. I don't have to rely on others to help me out. At first, I was only able to work part-time in their book department. But I made a lot of good friends. As I became good at doing the books, they also taught me computer skills, and now I have a really great job. Deseret Industries got me to where I could go back to work again.
When you donate goods to Deseret Industries, you give people like Michael a second chance.
I still really love books. Ask anybody who's had to help me move.
Deseret Industries, getting the most out of what you've given.
Well, the Mountain Crest kickoff was taken at the 10-yard line, but Domingo, and he went all the way back across the field and gave up ground and was tackled by Jaden Mon at the 6.
Just getting a little bit too fancy on the return there.
And that's where Mountain View starts, and Bingham stays in as the quarterback. Bingham is their throwing quarterback, and they threw the ball a little more when he came into the ball game. They still didn't throw it much.
Yeah, Mountain View trying to...
That's not who they are. They're just not a throwing team.
Now, Mountain View trying to dig themselves out of a big hole here once again, find themselves pinned up against their own goal line, and with a slow, methodical offense, it's going to be very difficult for them to try and march their way down the field against Mountain Crest and try and take that goose egg off the board.
One receiver. And they give it to that wing coming around, and that was Ortiz. Ortiz picks up yardage to make it 3rd and short.
able to rumble his way downfield, find a seam there in the defense, and give Mountain View a solid shot here at a first down.
His first carry since the first quarter. 3rd and 2.
Looks like he had to moonwalk the last couple yards of that run there. Luckily, nobody came and caught the back of his head there. That could have been a little bit ugly.
As good as Mountain Crest has been on 3rd down, Mountain View's been the other side of the coin. They are 1 of 6 on 3rd down. Ortiz in motion. And there we go with Bingham. They suckered him, and here goes Bingham down the sideline. No one's going to catch him.
That's the boost Mountain View was really looking for. Big play. They've been poking, they've been prodding, they've been looking for a weakness in the Mountain Crest defense, and they were finally able to exploit it. Here you can see it looks like coming up in the replay here.
86 yards on the touchdown for Bingham.
Looks like I got ahead of myself. Here you can see they looks like they're running the same play they've ran 1,000 times, and
suckered the cameraman.
Suckered the cameraman into it even, as he's 50 yards downfield by that point, free and clear for Mountain View's first score of the night, and even their first substantial play of the night, really.
That play covered more yardage than Mountain View had the entire game up to that point. Pierpont's kick is up, and it's good. 33-7. Mountain View on the board. 6:06 to play in the 3rd.
This is your living room, and so is this. This is season 1 and 2 and 3. This is the big game and the big moment. This is getting caught up. This is Xfinity TV. This is easy. This is simple. This is awesome. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
Well, a little bit of sunshine for the Mountain View offense. They've been stymied by this Mountain Crest defense most of this ball game, and with 6:06 to play, an 86-yard touchdown run by Jacob Bingham, and Bingham is supposed to be the throwing quarterback.
The great thing about those option offenses, they're built completely on timing. So as Mountain View goes on in the year, they'll certainly improve with their offensive execution, and they were able to show quite a bit there on that play, getting so far downfield.
Hall in his own end zone, so the Mustangs will start at their own 20. Again, still leading by 26 points. The raise your eyebrows and go, score of the night so far as Logan's getting beat by Northridge at the half, 24-13. And the reason you raise your, now of course, the game's already over by the time you're watching us on this, and so you'll know what happened. But, the reason you raise your eyebrows is not just that they're getting beat, but that they give up 24 points in the first half, because the Logan defense figured to be, the Logan offense is always good.
Always.
That Logan defense was returning a lot of starters, and they were tough last year, and they were figured to be a brick wall this year. So
Favero had mentioned earlier, that just like just about every other team in the state, their problem is having players coming in that didn't have a lot of varsity experience. So I'm sure as the year goes on, and especially when they go up against the Mustangs, the teeth on that defense will come out, and they'll show their true colors.
Mountain Crest wants a timeout. But last score we saw out of Skyview, too, out of that game, it's they were beating Olympus at the half, and that's a Skyview team that's kind of hoping to build on a little bit of a tough year last year. They were gangbusters for a few years, and in the last couple of years they've had their struggles. They've stayed right in the thick of things, but they've had some struggles.
Well, the great thing about Region 5 is there's a lot of really close rivalries, and here we've got an update on the Northridge-Logan score. Northridge is now up 31 to, is that 10?
31-13.
31-13, excuse me. But these Region 5 teams are so close to one another, and the athletes know each other so well that these rivalries are really intense, and you really can't count a team out of any game anytime you go, so you can't take anybody lightly.
As those games all go final, we'll mention those scores as well in case you hadn't heard them. Throwing that out pattern. Oh, nice catch by Lindley. He didn't look like he was going to get there, and he got there. 5 yards for the Mustangs. That's
some great trust there between Lindley and Webb. Webb was able to put it, throw the ball to a spot, and Lindley was able to run to it. Great pitch and catch there by Webb and Lindley.
Well, you can't pick apart Webb's game too bad. He's thrown for 171 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he's 14 of 19. But maybe one of the only things you could say is he takes off and gets out across the 35. I guess if you were going to be nitpicky after that 10, 14-yard run, I guess you could say, well, some of his passes have sailed on him a little bit.
They have a little bit.
He's forced a couple into some spots that maybe he shouldn't have, and one got picked. But other than that, he's had a really solid game.
He has had a really solid game, and really you have to take into account this is his first varsity start, and honestly with receivers like Eddie and Moroni, I think he's given pension a little bit to force him where he shouldn't every once in a while.
Flag on the play. I don't know if Mountain View was offsides or somebody moved for Mountain Crest. Let's see what the call is. I didn't think Mountain Crest moved, and they didn't. It's offsides on Mountain View. Mountain View penalized 5 times in this game for 30 yards. Mountain Crest 3 times for 30 yards. The offensive line's done a good job protecting Jameson Webb. I mean, he's had time to eat his dinner back there.
Yeah, he's had plenty of time to read, check down, run. I think out of sheer desperation, he's had to force a few of those throws because he feels like he ought to be out of time.
Ferguson out across the Mountain View 40-yard line, 15, 16, 17, 18 yards.
Ferguson able to get free and show some of his colors here. You can see once again he's able to get across, and Jameson does a great job of finding him across the middle. Breaks that first tackle, showing some good strength, getting through a couple levels of the defense and picking up a nice gain after the catch.
Well, Mountain Crest in a hurry, and Putu Tau picks up 9 on the reception from Webb.
Putu Tau quietly having an extremely solid game here. In Eddie Hall's shadow, I guess you could say. He's had quite a few catches and been able to put his mark on this one.
Webb across the middle. Ferguson's wide open. Touchdown, Mountain Crest. 31 yards.
Mountain Crest once again here on this play, kind of abusing the center of the field for Mountain View. Ferguson found that spot 2 plays ago, and you can see here in the replay that he finds that same seam right between the safeties. There's miscommunication there in the defensive backfield, and he trots his way right there into the end zone for yet another Mountain Crest score.
5 touchdown passes for Webb.
Not a bad debut.
Nope.
Not a bad debut at all.
And there's 5:10 to play in the 3rd quarter. So the PAT is good. 40 points for the Mustangs as they lead 40-7 in the 3rd.
Solid though.
40-7. Mountain Crest back on top at a 33-point margin. Curran takes his right at his goal line. And he's out across the 25 to about the 29-yard line, and that's where Mountain View will take over. And I think Mountain Crest took it personally that they let Mountain View score.
Well, the things you really want to do, especially in your first game of the season in a blowout from Mountain Crest here, is make sure you maintain focus and discipline. Make sure you're moving forward and working towards your goal. You know, you're not going to win every game of the season and be up 40-7 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So you got to do everything you can to get better, and I think that's what the Mountain Crest Mustangs decided to do on that last drive.
Bingham still in there at quarterback. They put him in about midway through the second quarter, and he's gone the distance. Domingo for a couple of yards up the middle.
Mountain View opening up with a little bit better field position than they have in the past couple of drives here, but aren't able to capitalize on that first play as they run right into the teeth, of the Mountain Crest defense.
And those are big teeth.
Big teeth. Big, fast guys there on that front four for Mountain Crest.
Give to Ortiz, and he fumbled it. Mountain Crest is on it. Let's see. Looked like Mustangs were on it. And they were. So the first turnover of the game by Mountain View. It's one thing they've done well. They haven't coughed up the football. Mountain Crest has turned it over twice, but there they let one get away.
Mountain Crest able to capitalize on that mistake there by Mountain View and find themselves on the 31-yard line in Mountain View territory. Great position to be able to extend this lead even more.
Webb still in there at quarterback. New running back, though. Nick Taylor. Is that number 19? And pick up of about 9 for Nick Taylor.
Big, strong run right up there at the middle, standing straight up, looking to take somebody's head off if they step in his way.
They don't list heights and weights on the Mountain Crest program, and he's a good-sized kid.
It's one thing Mountain Crest seems to have an inexhaustible supply of is big kids they can put out there to make plays.
Give it to Taylor again. Taylor finds a hole, and he's hauled down at about the 18, so he needed about a yard and a half. He got 2.
The great thing about being a tall running back is if you can fall forward, you pick up a little bit more yardage than the little tiny guys they send out there.
We'll be seeing a lot of different numbers now the rest of this ball game.
You know, the other great thing about having a game like this, your first game of the season, it gives your younger, perhaps more inexperienced varsity players a chance to really gain some confidence.
Webb gives again to Taylor. Taylor with a big hole off tackle. Steps to the outside. Picks up 13.
Taylor certainly taking advantage of the opportunities that are given to him here, along with Ferguson. They're able to shine as perhaps alternatives or backups to Eddie as the season progresses.
Well, the backup quarterback is Eddie Hall, but I don't know that we'll see him as the backup for Jameson Webb.
Yeah, I'm not too sure that'll happen either.
Let's see if there's an injury. There's an injury on the far sideline. It's one of the Mountain View players. He's out of bounds. No, it's a cramp. It's a cramp. They're massaging that cramp out on that sideline. They hold up play for the injury. If Mountain Crest scores again here in this second half, that clock keeps rolling. Well, we'll see Mountain Crest a few more times this season. It'll be interesting to watch their evolution.
You know, they're a little bit inexperienced, and with the change of quarterback, with Webb stepping in, might take them a few games to kind of get a head of steam underneath them, but they certainly are a dark horse favorite here, as Logan is the clear-cut favorite to win the region. They certainly have the potential to possibly knock off Logan and make a deep postseason run and continue that great Mountain Crest tradition of winning and doing so at a high level.
Well, that's the thing, though. Logan's getting thumped right now at home by Northridge, 34-13. So I don't know. That might be sometimes you're dealing with teenage kids here. Sometimes sometimes kids can read their press clippings, and you never want to lose any games as a coach. But it's better to get a wake-up call early than late.
Absolutely.
Here's Hall into the ball game. Tries to get to the edge. Boy, he's hemmed in.
Ooh, excellent pursuit by the Mountain View defense on that one. Able to, for the first time tonight, it seems, keep Eddie pinned against the sideline and force him to go down before gaining a few yards.
That's a 5-yard loss. And that's the only negative yardage run of the game for Hall.
Looks like a few of the Mountain Crest players are taking issue with one of the referee's decisions here.
They're taking issue with a little bit of
extracurricular
stuff
activity.
Going on. That's right. Second and goal now from the 11-yard line. Here's a flag as Hall's picking his way toward the end zone. He's into the end zone for the touchdown, but let's see the flag. It's back at the line of scrimmage.
Thrown down there in the interior of the line, you might suspect a holding call here, which is what it turns out to be.
Well, Mountain Crest will back up again.
Baseball game? Pro baseball game? All right.
Mountain Crest forced to back up here. It'll be interesting to see if they go back to their running game or try and pick at that weakness they found in the middle of the field in the Mountain View defense. Looking to extend their lead once again here.
Webb's going to throw back the other way to Ferguson. He's got a little bit of blocking help out there. If he makes one man miss, and he did. Touchdown, Mountain Crest. That's touchdown pass number 6 for Webb. On that one, 22 yards.
Once again, Mountain Crest receivers able to make themselves available to Webb and able to get quite a few yards after the catch. Ferguson taking an excellently placed ball by J-Mo and able to fight off a few defenders with an excellent stiff arm and take it into the end zone. You can see this here. Jamison lures the defense to one side, pulls it off to Ferguson, who attacks the first defender and fights him off with that excellent stiff arm and is able to finish the jaunt into the end zone, eluding one more Mountain View defender. It seems like Mountain Crest just simply has Mountain View's number tonight.
Mountain Crest, the 2-point conversion is good. Hall to Putu Tau. It's 47-7. Mountain Crest opening up a 40-point lead with 1:53 to play in the third.
Hi, I'm Wendy. Yep, that one. And I'm proud to introduce Dave's Hot and Juicy Cheeseburgers. They're all new and our best yet, with thicker, hotter, juicier beef, melty cheese, and a warm butter toasted bun. So come on in. You know when it's real.
Few relationships in life are more important than the one between you and your Michelin tires. Rugged, long-lasting Michelin truck tires. Michelin, a better way forward.
Brockton Elison.
Well, Mountain Crest now up by 40, which means we've got a running clock as long as it stays above 35-point lead. That means his last quarter and 1:53 should go pretty quick, but we've got a penalty. Mountain Crest offsides. See what the call is here. I'm sure that Mountain Crest was offsides, and that's the call.
Go offside on the Mustangs. Illegal kick from the 35-yard line.
Well, next week we've got Cottonwood at Logan, then we go to Skyview for the Brighton Skyview game. Back to Logan for Spanish Fork in Logan. Skyview at Mountain Crest. Our first in-valley game is on September 14th. After that, it's Roy at Logan and Logan at Skyview on the 28th of September, and we open October with Mountain Crest at Logan. Then Roy at Mountain Crest and East at Logan to round out the schedule. Curran out to the 25-yard line, and that's where Mountain View will take over.
I'm sure both the Mountain Crest players and the Logan players have that game in October circled where they're going to be playing each other. That's a game that very well could be deciding the region championship for Region 5.
We'll have to see. Logan not getting off to the start that they wanted to get off to, as they're getting thumped at home by Northridge. Mountain Crest taking care of business here in Hiram. And Skyview, last we heard, beating Olympus. Curran goes up for that one and comes down with it. He fights with it with Niederhauser, but they always give it to the receiver.
Looks like Niederhauser turned around to see where that ball was coming just a split second too late.
23 yards. Curran, the only receiver that's caught a pass.
Here you can see Curran kind of on an extended fly route there. Niederhauser flips around just a little bit too late, and Curran shows some excellent strength fighting Niederhauser for that ball and securing the gain for the Bruins.
Curran's 6'4", so he's a big target. .45 seconds to play in the third period. They're going for Curran again. He grabs it, but he looked like he was out of bounds as they keep going to work.
Niederhauser doing a good job of sticking with Curran and keeping him pinned up there against the sideline, and if he was going to reel that one in, Niederhauser going to force him to make a nigh impossible catch.
So another surprise score as we're talking about scores, and again, that game not over yet. It's Bountiful beating Lone Peak. That's who Mountain Crest takes on next week. Bountiful leading Lone Peak at the half, at least, of that ball game. Mountain Crest playing Lone Peak next week.
Two very solid programs. It'll be interesting to see how the Mustangs stack up against the Knights next week. A real big test for the Mustangs in the preseason.
5-man front for Mountain Crest. And that's the end of the third period. Mountain Crest leads 48-7.
Hi, I'm Randy Anderson, owner of Master Mechanic in Providence. Every repair we do at Master Mechanic comes with our peace of mind guarantee, meaning all repairs are guaranteed for 3 years or 36,000 miles. That's triple the industry standard. Summer travel time is here. Before you hit the road, stop by and have our ASE certified technicians inspect your vehicle. Prevent vacation breakdowns with our pre-trip inspection. Master Mechanic in Providence, taking the worry out of summer travel. I guarantee it.
Well, and that's the difference between us and, say, a chain that they'll hire anybody off the street and doesn't matter. And not that that's so bad, but here we're trying to give as personalized service as you can, as informed as you can possibly be, and help the individual in their selection of eyewear.
Yeah, that's a great benefit. I don't see how you can put a price tag on that. That's
well,
awesome.
That's probably right.
2nd down and 10. For Mountain View, Domingo. Picking up 8.
Another solid gain there by Domingo. They're able to chip away there at Mountain Crest front 4.
He's averaging 4 yards a carry, 48 yards on 12 carries.
Pretty solid night so far. Looks like Mountain Crest has brought in a few of their subs there along the defensive front.
Yeah, no reason to get anybody hurt when you're leading by 41 points. Give to that Magale. It is Magale, and he needed 2. And that's just about exactly what he got. Let's see if they're going to stop the clock in a 41-point game to measure. No, they're going to say, go ahead, it's a first down.
There you go. I think he got it. I think he got it.
Stand up and take a look there to see how many people are here, and it's filled in fairly well. Friday night in mid-August.
School not starting until next Thursday. Got a pretty good crowd out.
This one's short, and Smith picks it off as Bingham hung it out there and threw it a little bit short. So Mountain Crest will take over.
Mountain Crest's 2nd takeaway of the night there from the Bruins. See there, he lobs it up, the Bruins quarterback, and Smith runs underneath it and just takes it right out from in front of the receiver, giving the Mustangs their 2nd takeaway, and another shot at the end zone here for the Mustangs as they attempt to march their way down the field and extend their already sizable lead.
Saw number 78, Jaden Mon, doing his best cheerleader impression there, too. He was excited about that takeaway. I think we've got the new quarterback in for Mountain Crest now, Brockton Eglinson. Number 18, so Webb's done for the night. They send out Nick Watterson, be in the backfield. He missed the play. He better hope it's not for him. It's not.
Threw a good block, however.
Is that Taylor they gave it to again? Nick Taylor?
Able just to physically will his way down the field and fight his way for a pretty good game.
Now, did Taylor lose his helmet on the field or off? There's another new rule as Taylor picked up 12. There's a new rule about losing your helmet as well. And how that rule reads. And we'll have to see if that comes into play at all this season. If a player loses a helmet in play, he must sit out 1 play, unless it's at the end of the half or at the end of the game going into overtime. I guess they've had problems with kids' helmets popping off. They don't do them up all the way, everything else.
Safety first.
It's a give to Taylor again as he's dragging defenders out to a 13-yard gain, but a flag in the area that's usually holding. And it's a holding call on Mountain Crest.
See an excellent cut here by Taylor to once again find that open field against the Bruins. Mountain Crest has done a great job of breaking through some tackles and carrying some Bruin defenders with them. Unfortunately, it looks like this one is going to be negated by a holding penalty against the Mustangs.
So that backs them way up. It looked like it happened a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage, back to the 25-yard line. So it's 1st and 22. Taking their time. Pitch out to Watterson. Watterson across the 30, picks some of that penalty yardage back up, about 7 of it.
Wooten reverting back to his bread and butter running play, trying to chew this clock away and get his team back into the locker room with their eyes set on the Lone Peak Knights coming into town next weekend. That ought to be a good test for the Mustangs as they've had a good opportunity to get everything worked out here and have some success and gain some confidence Lone Peak will come into town and give them a true test of really where the Mustangs stand this early in the season.
8 minutes to play. Mountain Crest firmly in control of this one, 48-7. Give to Taylor. Taylor hauled down after a short gain, about 3.
Mustangs continuing to give some of their younger players some playing time, especially in the backfield with their running back by committee approach here to close this one out. Seen touches by Taylor, earlier by Ferguson, a few plays ago by Watterson. Looks like plenty of players are going to get their opportunity to make a varsity debut here for the Mustangs.
Well, going into that fourth quarter in that Logan game, Northridge continues to pour it on Logan, 41-13. Northridge just thumping Logan. Mountain Crest thumping Mountain View here. Ailison unloads across the middle, and nobody there.
You know, the thing that both Mountain Crest and Logan need to keep in mind after these first games of the season is that one game does not a season make. Whether you lose big or you win big, you have to have a short memory and move on quickly. As Logan doesn't have time to stay back and wonder about the loss, and Mountain Crest doesn't have the time to rest on their laurels after this big victory. As Lone Peak, if Mountain Crest decides to take it that way, they'll wake them up quickly.
First punt of the game for Mountain Crest. Hall back to punt. High short kick.
Eddie Hall continuing his contention for punt, pass, and kick champion of Mountain Crest this year.
He's going to have to punt better than that. That was a 13-yard kick. And you know what? Eddie Hall's limping off the field.
That's not a good sign.
Now looks like he's maybe walked it out now, but his first few steps when he got up, he had a hitch in his giddy-up.
I think after a 13-yard punt, you're looking for an excuse to blame it on.
Is that like a cornerback who gets beat and then reaches for his hamstring?
Pulled hamstring.
Oh, my hamstring.
That's okay, Eddie. It's okay.
Six minutes to play in the ball game. Bingham, the Mountain View quarterback, they made the change about midway through that second period, and they've stuck with it. He's got an 86-yard touchdown run, completed a few passes. Ortiz, a 2-yard gain.
A big running back they got in there. He was able to go in, but bigger front forward on the defense there for the Mustangs really stopped him in his tracks.
Looks like they got Mountain Crest to jump. Mountain Crest isn't arguing, they're just backing up.
A little inexperienced eagerness showing through for the Mustangs. Hopefully he can rein it in a little bit and use that energy to get to the quarterback on the next play.
And now he's got to come out.
That's never good.
Jacob Swanton, the junior, they're going to pull him over. They're talking to him. The coach is down there. Hey, son, watch the ball. You're right over it. Domingo working his way toward the 40-yard line. Looks like he's just shy of the first down. Pickup of 3. As we're under 5 minutes to play now. 3rd and 1 for Mountain View. 1 of 7 on 3rd down. 0 for 1 on 4th down.
One area Mountain View will really have to improve if they're hoping to make some noise in region play this year is Deseret News picked them to finish 6th, and I think the coaches picked them 6th, and the Deseret News picked them 3rd. So there is some potential, and there they go.
And there goes Bingham again. And he's going to be over 100 yards rushing for the night with a 41-yard score. Once he got through the line, he scooted for the touchdown.
Picking and prodding there once again.
125 yards on 3 carries and 2 touchdowns.
Not a bad average carry there.
No, not at all. It's a 40-odd yard per average carry, about, what, 42, 41?
The Bruins once again able to exploit that weakness they found in the option, and just like on that long run earlier in the half, Bingham's able to blow this one apart and take the touchdown John into the end zone once again.
Niederhauser couldn't quite get there. Mountain View's one short for the PAT.
Now if they make this extra point, that'll put them inside of the 35 points necessary